We're pivoting over to the center stage. We got Jay Malone joining us on the show here, and we're going to break down how to level up your life with practical tips from a successful entrepreneur. I think this guy's, I'm telling you, we got a very special guest today. Jay Malone joining us from Jersey. I met Jay in the comments on LinkedIn, and Jay's, there's something going on with the show there. It's like this ESPN thing, but I want to see what's going on. So I'm like, hey, Jay, why don't you come on the show? Jay helps consultants and profits by turning their services into productized offers. And as watching the guy go to work, the guy goes to work, shows up every single day. Jay's here to share some of his top strategies for leveling up and transforming the way we think about success. What's going on, Jay Malone?
Mr.
Hey, what's up, brother?
How you guys doing? How you guys doing? All right.
Doing all right. All right.
This is not ESPN. I don't know what. This is way beyond ESPN.
Definitely way beyond ESPN for sure.
way over my head here.
So Malone joins us from Jersey. I think his neighbors are right in the middle of John Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen, don't you?
Yeah, they're over here. And the Sopranos are down the street in Jersey Shore.
Yeah, and the Palooza girl and like all those like the Snooki and what is it, 1979 right now or something? But so yeah, you're hanging out there in Jersey, eh? Yeah.
You know, I am in Freehold, so I'm in Bruce's hometown.
Oh, okay.
We're basically best friends.
So how's Jersey this morning, Malone?
It's beautiful. It's 80 degrees, sunny. It's been that way the whole time, the whole October. So can't complain.
Nice. Let's get into it. Let's get into center stage and let's get real. So leveling up your life, Jay, is not about literally one big leap. It's about strategically improving and optimizing what you've already done. Now, listen, I know you're big on turning services and productized offers, and you've had great success doing that to create scalable growth. We see a lot of entrepreneurs starting with one thing, but then struggle to scale. Can you share how that concept helps entrepreneurs level up? This idea of turning services into productized offers and creating that scalable growth. How did you start? And take us through that path of how you got there and where you are today.
Yeah. So I started my first service business, a consulting business in 2010. And a lot of consultants and coaches and people that do freelance work, you're trading time for money. And that's a great place to start. You're doing what you're great at doing. But over time, that you reach a ceiling. And so you raise your prices, you try to hire people, and you're just having more and more risk that you're taking on. So that for me caused a ton of burnout. I did that for about a decade or so. And what I decided to do instead is take this service that I offered to my clients, this expertise that I had, and start to package it into offers that they could use themselves. So do-it-yourself versions of the services that I offered. And I made them free. I made them low ticket. And what it did is it started to create this flywheel. People that could get access to my tools, my frameworks, my resources, they'd use them. They'd see that I had expertise in it. And then some of them would raise their hand to ask me to come in and do the high ticket work that I did. And so what it allowed me to do is step back from all the marketing and selling and hustling that I was doing for a decade and rely on the products that I had created to turn that flywheel. So I basically built this automated way to fill my funnel with ideal clients. And the financial success was great, but the mental and emotional lift that it gave me to spend more time with my family, to spend time on saying yes to better clients. So now when I think of building businesses, I always think of what can you take from the work that you're doing today and put it out into the world so that people get access to your expertise.
This is magic because I want to do a little role play with you. Let's talk to Marty and John. So John, Marty, both have independent clients and both building their independent businesses and so forth. They might say, Jay, that productizing a service, productizing something that they're doing is limiting, that it removes the personalization that their clients value. Now, what I love about what you said is that I'm going to paraphrase that I created this service, but in order for me to scale it and enjoy my family, I had to find a way to scale it. Now, how do you take something that from the outside doesn't look like it's a scalable product and turn it into a scalable solution so that you can improve the quality of your life and sit back and have these digital products being sold and having these services personalized when on the face of it, it doesn't look like it's a personalized service? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Yeah, it does. A lot of coaches struggle with that. They say, I'm not going to put anything between me and my clients. We have a relationship. I work with coaches that do trauma therapy for executives going back into childhood. So there's no way they're going to put a course or an ebook or a piece of content between them and their clients. But then when those coaches are charging $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour, and they have someone at the really early stage of their journey, they can't afford them. They don't know if they're ready to work with that person. They don't feel like they're not yet sure if that's their guy or their girl. You offer them a small piece of what you would help them with. Let them help themselves through that stage of the journey for at a much more affordable price. And when they're ready, when they have the budget, when they have the means, when they have the access, you're going to be the person that they come to for help because you help them in a time of need without needing to spend tens of thousands of dollars, or if time zones are an issue, getting access to you. So those products serve as a lower lift for them. It's a much easier thing for them to buy and get access to.
John, Marty, when you hear Jay talking about, what do you say to that, Johnny?
I use this model. This is my model. I have all sorts of free resources. When people come in, if I don't know that they're a good fit, I'm going to say, hey, I've got all this free shit and you can go access it and you can use it and you're going to find that it works. And so if you want to come back for something that's going to be really customized to you and what you want, basically I'm here. And ultimately, I actually have a place called John Anderson's Free University, and they go in there, and all it is an email. All they got to do is register, and it's all content you're not going to find on my social media. And you can find some of it on YouTube, but it's all long form content. My ebooks are in there. And so someone can go in there and make a ton of progress, which they do. And people that don't have enough to pay for anything, it's a huge resource for them. And I've had people that have done this and come back like a year or two later. Hey, I got this massive promotion and I have the money to work with you now. I'm ready. And at that point, I know that they've experienced what I do, who I am, how I do it. And it's a filter is what it is. But what I love about it is that I get to help everybody.
Yes. Yeah. Marty, what do you take from what Jay had offered up and even some of John's comments? I know you have a lot of virtual training clients and so forth. What's your point of view on this, Marty?
Yeah, I use a similar model. I have like different packages I offer. And as far as the free stuff, I don't have a free university like John, but I use my content for that. And I have the same approach as Konetsky that we had on yesterday. I'm hopping in the DMs. I'm trying to respond to people and just be there. And if they decide they want to pay for my service, I'm available for them. What Jay was talking about, and I use some of what like Konetsky was talking about yesterday. So I'm right there with you.
Jay, and Marty, like the thing is, you get to evaluate that by the time the person comes to you, that they're right, that they're serious, they're committed to work with you. And so that it cuts out all that noise. Because I can't tell you how many times I was selling to Ford, Home Depot, MailChimp, Google, Amazon, 18-month cycles, when half the time I'm talking to the wrong person. They don't have budget. They're not ready to hire me. They're just kicking the tires. As a small entrepreneur, like a small business entrepreneur, I don't have time. I don't have months to send you proposals and pitch and prospect over and over again so that you might buy or not buy 2 years later.
I'm with you. I agree.
Jay, I'm a big fan of the moment behind the moment. And just a quick question before we move into the C Marty Fit Tip. Jay, take me to the moments in your world when the light went on. And what I mean by that is that you're struggling, you're selling your services independently, and then you're like, were you on the couch with your kids? Were you having a cup of coffee? You're like, fuck, I'm going to try this. Because entrepreneurs, I just find we have these aha moments. So something happened for you to say, I'm going to try something, I'm suspecting, and then it worked. And then as an entrepreneur, you leaned into that and then you did more of it. Take our listeners through that experience, because that to me is, those aha moments, we all have them. How did it happen for you, Jay Malone?
I'm a little slow as an entrepreneur because it took me a couple of years of those small moments of just building. So what we were doing is we would train a bunch of people on the frameworks that we used in our work. And we would get the question, can we get access to the slides, to the templates, to the worksheets, to the guides that you created? We kept saying, no, that's not included. That's not included. And then one day the light bulb moment went off. I was like, I've been saying no to hundreds and thousands of customers that want access to this thing. And I always told myself, I need to be in the room to deliver it because I'm special. I'm like the secret ingredient.
Yes.
And they still want access to the stuff. So I started giving it to them and they started buying it. And what they bought became this perpetuous flywheel. And I just had to take myself out of the equation, turn my ego down for a minute to realize that if I gave them access to what they were looking for, it would just create more and more desire for the stuff that I had.
That's really cool. We're going to continue the chat with Jay Malone coming up in a couple of minutes after the C Marty Fit Tip. We're talking about leveling up your life. Entrepreneurs, if you're tuning in right now and you're wondering how to level up your life and take that next step, today's the show. Today's the show you want to be on. Here's the big takeaway from our center stage segment. Leveling up is about creating systems, guys. Systems that allow you to scale without losing quality. When I'm working with Tina, when the show's off, where we're building the show, we're building parts of the business athlete performance, I'm always challenging Tina and the team of think about creating something that we're not here. Think about creating something if you're not around. That is when you really want to think past productizing. So whether you're productizing your services or optimizing your schedule, it's about working smarter, not just harder. And remember, no month's around the corner. So subscribe to the channel, like the channel, comment on the channel, and hang out in the month of November to help you hit those big goals that you want to achieve that you're going to say yes to by hanging out with us for the month of November. All right, now it's time for a quick fitness tip from Marty. I know he's got something for you guys to think about today. Get you go through your day. Marty,
always, man. Come on, man. We about to find out.
Come on, man.
Yeah.